You're listening to the Smarter Moms Online Podcast, episode number 6. Welcome to the Smarter Moms Online Podcast, where you learn how to increase your revenue and your reputation in your online business. I'm your host, Ashlyn Tengon, and if you're ready to work smarter and not harder, then let's get started. Welcome to episode 6. One of the reasons why I started this podcast is not just because I wanted to give others a platform to share their stories, but also because I love talking to other entrepreneurs. Before I get on the phone with my guests, I have them submit an intake form so that we can both better prepare ourselves for our recording session. And when I read Monica's intake form, who is our guest today, I immediately knew that she was more than someone selling stuff on Poshmark just to make a few extra bucks. She's a genuine entrepreneur who, just like so many other people, is trying to leave her 9-to-5 job. So as you listen to today's episode, you're going to hear a lot more than just Poshmark info. Now, I have to give you a little bit of a warning that my microphone was not plugged in as I was talking to her, but you can hear Monica loud and clear. Before we dive into today's show, I want to read a review from Stephanie, whose closet name is Lima8911, titled, "Love It!" And she says, "I'm a member of your group on Poshmark, and I'm so glad you came out with this podcast because it's something to listen to when you need motivation to keep going. There's some good information and so relatable." Thank you so much, Stephanie. That's definitely one of the goals of the podcast, which is to keep you motivated that you can make extra money on the app. Listen, if you want a chance to have your closet given a shout out on the podcast, leave a review on iTunes and be sure to include your closet name. It seriously only takes like 1.8 seconds to rate the podcast and less than 30 seconds to write a quick review. Alrighty, without further ado, let's dive into today's show. We have Monica on the show. Monica, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you and your family and why you started selling on Poshmark.
Okay, so I'm Monica again, and I work a 9-to-5, and I do Poshmark on the side, and I have a 17-year-old son. So I'm a dog mom, and he is a 6-year-old Dachshund and Beagle mixed. And basically how I started with Poshmark, one day my son's tennis shoes was kind of just taking up space in the closet. And so this was actually back in 2006, right? So I've heard about Poshmark, and so I listed his pair of tennis shoes, just kind of putting it out there, not really knowing what was going to happen. And it was a pair of Nike shoes, and I think I can't even remember which basketball player it was. But anyway, I put those on Poshmark, and I think within a week they sold for $50.
Wow.
So I was amazed. I was like, okay, I'm onto something here. But then I kind of let my closet sit for a while. Like, I listed other items. However, my titles weren't right. My pictures looked a mess. I mean, it was just busy backgrounds, just things like cute shoes or cute top, cute dress, and so my items just kind of sat for a while. And I mean, I actually sat on that closet for, what year is this? It's 2018. Yep. So let's say about 2 years. So nothing else sold. And then I finally got back into it because I have 3 closets, okay, of clothes.
Wow.
And I used to work retail part-time. And so, we would get the employee discounts. So I would just buy stuff. I mean, I would have bags of clothing just sitting with tags on it. Mm-hmm. And stuff couldn't fit in my closet or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me go back on Poshmark and list some of these things. So I started listing some items and actually really got back into it this year of 2018. Mm-hmm. And I actually been doing pretty good ever since. I've really took a head dive into it this time. Instead of letting my things sit, I started to, look for YouTube videos, find different groups of how I can actually grow my closet and grow, followers and get some more likers and things of that nature. So that's what I've been doing. So 2018 has actually awakened my closet.
Yes, it sounds like that. So tell us about your closet. What types of things do you sell now?
I sell a mixture of men's items. I sell women's items. I sell kids items. I've actually sold some home decor items, to be honest.
Oh,
Just
okay.
things I had kind of, laying around the house. And I think one of those items was forbidden.
Oh,
So, to be honest, so I kind of, paid attention to that because I'm like, okay, I don't want them to like flag me since, when you
yeah,
become an ambassador. And I know it really doesn't make a huge, huge difference when you do, but, because I have that title now and I want to make sure I'm abiding by all the rules and
right.
not selling those forbidden categories. But I didn't know. I mean, because I've seen other people doing this. I'm like, hey, I can sell that too.
Yeah,
So,
I think most people don't know. I don't think they're aware.
yeah. So I actually went back into the rules and I was like, oh, okay, now I know what I can and what I cannot sell. So,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, just men's, women's, and kids.
So are they thrifted or are they brand new from a boutique or what are they?
It's a little bit of both, actually.
Oh,
So, yeah. So, actually, it's items that I've bought from retail stores that either A, I can no longer fit,
mhm.
B, doesn't look right when you bring it home and when you try it on, or C, stuff that has just been sitting there for years and it had tags on it. So, I do thrift also.
Uh-huh.
So, it's a little bit of both.
I like it. Sounds fun. How many items do you have for sale right now?
I have probably about 125, maybe about 125 items.
That's a manageable amount.
It is, especially when it comes to sharing, because I just couldn't imagine if I had like 4,000 items and just sharing those. I mean, that's a lot,
Holy
you
smoke.
know.
I don't,
Yeah,
have you seen anyone with 4,000 items?
actually, I have.
What?
Actually, I have. And I said, man, they must list every day.
My
Like,
goodness.
yeah, but I mean, that's a lot to manage. But I think for me, 100, that's a manageable amount for me. Like
Exactly.
I can't go over that, and so every time I do sell something, I'll make sure I replace it with something else. So
Yeah,
I keep that same number just to kind of keep it going.
right. And do what works for you, Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just, when you start to compare your closet to someone else's, that may be doing a little bit better than yours. I mean, then, it just becomes overwhelming and you're just trying to be at a certain point, but everybody's experience with Poshmark is different. So
Yeah,
you just kind of have to find your own groove and stick with it. What works for you?
exactly. Yeah, and to add on to that, to just stay in your lane and don't compare your closet with somebody else's because that's two different businesses. Totally agree
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely.
Now, you had a couple of questions here on your intake forms that I wanted to dive into if you're ready.
Sure, I'm ready.
Do you have those questions on you, or would you like me to read them?
I actually have them.
Oh, let's have you read them then. Let's do it.
Okay, so number one, it said, what are some ways you can get your closet exposed to more potential buyers other than this great podcast?
You are so funny. That's what made me laugh when I read it. I was like, we're gonna be great friends.
You have to throw that in there. You know what I mean?
Well, to answer your question, I'm
Okay,
actually gonna ask you a question first. What are you
sure.
doing to get your closet exposed?
Actually, I created the Instagram page
Mm-hmm.
and I make sure that I list different items that I put up in my closet
Hmm.
onto my Instagram page. And so I'm getting followers and I'll actually put my link to my closet. I actually did the link, what is it, link tree
Yeah,
instead of a direct link.
right.
And so, I'll say, click the link in my bio for more information, but I make sure I put up, different items of what I'm listing, but I also keep it personable too for my Instagram page. So I do that. I share my items probably, well, now it's more because I used to do 3 times a day, but now I think I'm doing between 10 and 15 that
Wow.
I'll share my items a day. And I also show other postures some love by sharing their items. So I don't even know how many of those I do a day because I do it on my computer at work.
Oh, yeah.
And so, at home, I have a laptop and, everything is touchscreen. So it kind of takes a little while longer. But when I'm at work, I have that mouse. And when you use your mouse, you can click so much faster when you
Yes.
do it that way.
Yes.
So I said, I need to get me a mouse for home. But yeah, I share other postures, items, and, that's pretty much it, and that works for me.
Right. And that's good. I like those. I love the link tree that you have on Instagram. I'm going to share some of my ideas with you, and you can agree or disagree with them. But
Okay.
these are what I've been seeing work.
Okay.
Not just in the Poshmark area or industry, but in other industries as well. So as far as Instagram goes, Instagram stories are
Hmm.
powerful. Are you using stories?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so Instagram stories are blowing up. Uh,
Okay.
so here's why I suggest it is because it builds that personal relationship with your viewers, especially if you're holding up your phone and you're talking directly into the camera as if
Hmm.
you're talking to a friend.
Okay.
That builds so much of that know, like, and trust factor. I don't know if you've heard me talk about that before.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
have.
you don't realize, like, you may not get a lot of feedback on the stories at first because of course you're just getting started on it. But
Hmm.
the more you post something interesting or just like personable that people could relate to,
Hmm.
the more people are going to come back to watch you. And without you realizing it, they're going to feel like they're your friend because they know you. It's like watching reality TV
Hmm.
where you know that person, but they have no idea who you are.
Oh, wow. So, okay, I have to try that.
Have you tried Instagram stories before?
I think I did, but it was a still picture. It
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
live.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be
So,
live, but video is definitely stronger than picture.
gotcha. Okay.
So, I mean,
I'll,
some ideas that you could use are like show the items that you got. So, if you got some new inventory, just go
hmm.
post it to post a quick video on your Instagram stories and be like, hey, check out this new thing I got. You can talk about like what you like about it, and you can style it with other pieces if you wanted to. And,
Hmm.
just as if you were telling your friend about this exciting new piece you got. Just
Oh,
being
okay.
natural like that.
Hmm.
It's so powerful. It's super strong. Like, you've got to try it.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, of course, to get the ultimate reach, you want to make sure that your Instagram is public so that more people could see it, of course, not just your own audience.
Right. Hmm.
And you could also make it interactive. So they have a poll feature on there where you could say yes or no, ask a question. So that you could hold up something and be like, is this cute? Yay or nay? You know what I mean? Make it
Oh, okay.
interactive. And of course, at the beginning, you're not going to get a ton of interaction, but
Hmm.
consistency will eventually get you there to where people are going to notice you and they're going to say, wow, this person is on stories all the time. What's she
Hmm.
doing? Yeah.
Okay. I have a question in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do the Instagram stories and you do the polls, that's available to you now because I heard that some of the buttons, like you have to have so many followers or something in order to get certain things. So is the poll feature in the stories
Yeah,
available if Oh,
it
okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
You can add all kinds of things, like those GIFs. They call them GIFs,
Hmm.
right? Or are they GIFs?
I
Those.
call them GIFs. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You call them GIFs too. All right. I've been calling them gifts all this time, and then somebody corrected me, and I was like, "Oh, excuse me."
I don't even know if that's right, but we're gonna call it gifts. I mean, see, I just said gifts. I mean GIFs.
We're just gonna go with gifs.
Right, GIFs.
But yeah, the poll feature is available. The feature that is only available to certain people are like the swipe up feature. That's available to
Okay.
people who have 10,000 followers or more.
Okay.
And I don't have 10,000 followers, so I can't tell you my experience with that.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Oh,
You're almost there. Not
you'll
yet.
you will be there. You're not, you're not worried about me today. We talking about you.
I know, but you will get there.
You're so sweet. So the second thing that I wanted to suggest is Facebook Live. Do you have a Facebook page?
I do have a Facebook page for my closet,
Good.
and I have not gone live. I think I'm camera shy.
Many
That's why
people,
I haven't done it.
many people are camera shy, which is normal. It
Hmm.
absolutely is terrifying to go on live not knowing who's watching you.
Exactly.
And I mean, but the nice thing is that you build, I want to say like live streams are like
Hmm.
microwaves. And hear me out on this because
Okay.
you can take a cold audience, which is a cold audience is somebody who does not have any idea who you are, and
Hmm.
turn them into a warm and hot audience in a short amount of time. And a warm
Okay.
hot audience is somebody who knows you, and a hot audience is somebody who's ready to buy from you. So if you
Okay.
think about just posting on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
yeah, everybody posts on Facebook. It's kind of become the norm, but not a lot of people go live on Facebook. So
Right.
to see somebody who's going live, you're building that know, like, and trust factor even more because you're being so vulnerable.
Okay.
So, like, some things you could talk about on your Facebook, and now I say your Facebook page because you have so much reach when you do
Hmm.
it from your page, your business page.
Hmm.
I would include, just like your Poshmark listings, you want to make sure that you have your keywords in there.
Okay.
Those searchable words that people are actually typing into the search bar.
Okay.
And talk about your closet. You can just go on there and talk about, make it something interesting that people want to learn, you know and
Hmm.
then, well, let me see what I have here. Talk about like one topic per live stream so that you're not overwhelming yourself,
Okay.
and go live often. So
So how many times do you would say in a week?
you can go live one time a week,
Oh,
as
okay.
long as you're being consistent by showing up every week one time.
Oh,
You'll be
okay.
good.
Okay. That's reasonable.
Yeah. And it's not, you're not going to see results instantly, but
Hmm.
you're planting the seed, you're throwing the rock in the pond to create that ripple effect. The more you show up, the more people are going to notice, and they're going to get to know you. They may even like you, and
Okay.
they're definitely going to trust you because you're being vulnerable and showing off your business.
Okay. That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I wrote my note in my notes.
Oh, and don't forget we're recording this, so you can always go back
I
and
know.
listen to it.
I literally took the whole we're having a conversation only. Literally.
That's a good thing, girl. That's a
I,
good thing.
I forgot.
No, that's fine. So, what is your next question?
Okay. So my next question was, you have a great Facebook group, by the way.
Oh, I thank you.
So you're welcome. So what are some ways that have helped you expand your Facebook group and social media presence? And I actually think you kind of answered it with the lives, but if it's something else that you've I guess done that might have helped you grow your Facebook group.
Yeah, actually. So, lives were definitely a huge one, going live in the group. But I think the number one thing that has really helped expand it was being very clear about who my group was for. So,
Okay.
I mean, like, if you see the group, it's obvious that that's the group for people who sell on Poshmark. You know what I mean?
Right. Hmm.
It's nothing, it's not clever, but it's clear. So, are you thinking of starting a Facebook group, or do you have one already?
I actually have a Facebook group,
Hmm.
and it's not just for Posh Mark.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I've been had one actually, and and I guess I should have included this with my introduction. But at some point, I want to leave my 9 to 5. I
Mhm.
want to be able to work on my own time and kind of live that laptop lifestyle.
Yes.
So I've created a group called On My Way to Quit,
Ooh, I
right?
like it.
Which is, we'll talk about that's part of my blog title, but we just kind of openly discuss different things like our progress. So it's not one particular business that everyone has.
Hmm.
We just talk about just building our business in general. so we can one day walk away from our jobs.
I really like that.
Thanks.
Can I join your group? Like,
Absolutely.
I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. I can actually send you a link after we finish talking. I
Oh,
can
that'd
send it
be
to
so
you.
awesome because that is exactly my language.
Okay, cool. But yeah, so that's the kind of group that I have. So I kind of is it's slowly growing. I don't do lives at all. And I guess that would kind of pick up. So depending on, like some topics, I get responses from and some I don't. I think it's a total of just 20 members right now.
Nice.
So, it's pretty small. And I do post every day.
Good.
Sometimes I do schedule it if, I can't do it every morning. But I also share like, maybe a side hustle of the day or something that I found online. So, I'm always sharing and giving back to that group, like different things that I've discovered because I'm clearly like a Google podcast and YouTube junkie.
Oh, same here.
So I'm always learning something because like when I'm driving into work, that's all I listen to is podcasts. So I'm always listening or TEDx talks.
Oh my gosh, this is why we are friends.
Yes. So I always share something, in the group, and it might not be every day, but I also make it, that I'm doing it consistent, but it's just like I'm having a little bit of trouble of trying to grow the group. So that's why, excuse me, I asked you that question because I'm like, wow, I remember when I joined your group, it wasn't as many people it is now. And it was just like, I rolled over one day and it was like thousands of people in this group. I was just like, whoa, what is she doing?
I don't have thousands of people in there. It's like literally like a little over 400.
I mean, 400 to 20, I say you're doing pretty good.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we all start somewhere. I started with 2 people in the group. And
Okay.
why there was 2 is because I forced my sister to join the group and she was
Okay.
I didn't even tell her. I was like, I need you so that I could start this group. So leave whenever you feel like it. But what I would suggest is for your group, just get really clear about who it's for. And
Okay.
you ask questions before people can join.
I do.
Good. So ask those questions. And what kind of questions do you ask?
I asked them, well, first, do they promise to read the rules of the group? Of course, because I do have group rules. And then that was an off guard question. I'm trying to think.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. The second question was, why do they want to quit? And I can't remember the third question.
But they were all sort of related to each other that you can use.
Yeah.
Or it's important info for you to know running your group.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty basic. I mean, just the main question that I wanted to know was why they wanted to quit. Because you can kind of wean out like, why are you really here?
Yeah, for sure.
Are we on the same page or is this group really for you? So, so far, I mean, it's worked. Sometimes people don't answer the questions and I kind of got to remind them. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much been smooth sailing. But, just a little stagnant as far as growing the group. So
I would say, I mean, is it a goal for you to grow your group?
I don't want it to be too big where I can't really handle it, where it's like, really taking up so much of my time.
Right.
20 is a good number now, but at the same time, I kind of feel like of those 20, I don't get enough responses to kind of keep it going. So if it's other members that's kind of like looking through the post or, the questions or, and no one's responding, then that kind of might discourage them a little bit.
Right.
So just trying to keep it active in a way where, it keeps up the interest.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Again, I'm going to consider and suggest that you go live in your Facebook group.
Okay.
Because that will definitely help with the algorithm so that, Facebook pushes out those live feeds to all the members because they are encouraging live streaming right now.
Okay.
So go on a topic that you know people are interested in, talk
Hmm.
about it, go live for like 10 or 15 minutes. That's
Okay.
what you gotta do once a week, and you'll gain the trust of your members in there. They'll want to learn more about you. They're going to get to know you, and
Hmm.
they'll just want to learn more about what you have to say. I mean, give it a try. It works.
Okay. So how did you get over your fear? Like two-part question. How did you get over your fear with going live?
Oh,
You-
that's such a good question. I had to force myself to
okay.
push the go live button, because so if I didn't schedule it, if I didn't tell people that I was going live on a Tuesday at, I forgot what time I went live, like 4 o'clock Hawaii time or something like that. If I
Hmm.
didn't tell people that I was doing it, I wouldn't do it. So
Okay.
when the time was coming around, like, okay, 4 o'clock is here, you need to
Hmm.
go live because people are expecting you, I just
Hmm.
had to push the button and do it.
Oh, okay. So holding yourself accountable then. That's
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah, I can't look, I guess.
I know. See, I know exactly how you feel. That's exactly how I was.
Like you say so.
And then you got people who will leave comments on your live stream, and you're just like on the spot because you're not exactly sure how to react to that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, you just gotta embrace it and know why you're doing this. So,
Okay.
like, the reason why I went live in my group is because I wanted people to know what I had to say. I wanted to get my message out there. I wanted people to know that I'm not just here to have this group like
Hmm.
any other Poshmark group, which I'm sure they're all great. I have not been in them at all, but
Okay.
I just wanted to stand out and be different in a way. So I think you should consider finding a way to stand out and be different
Hmm.
in your group, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's some very good advice.
Oh, I thank you. Now, you mentioned your blog, and I want to learn more about that. So tell us
Sure.
about it.
Okay. So you want to know the link first, or you just want me to talk about it,
Oh,
or
yes. Please
both?
tell us what it's called, how we can get there, what it's about, what you're doing. Like, I want to know about it.
Okay. So my blog, the website is on my way to quit.wordpress.com.
Hmm.
And basically, the blog is about, my journey on leaving a 9 to 5 and turning all of the side hustles that I have into a full-time paycheck. So I actually get very personal. I talk about finances, I talk about saving, during the process because it is hard.
Hmm.
And, I try to talk about the things that I do. I always try to find low cost or no cost things.
Hmm.
And then I actually have written an ebook as well.
Oh, nice.
And it was my yeah, I actually wrote a blog post about that. I've written my first ebook for free,
Hmm.
and I explain exactly how you do it inside of that blog post. So like each blog post, I'm not, leading you somewhere else where you have to pay, numerous amounts of money.
Hmm.
I'm just giving the information away for free. Just
Nice.
plain and simple. The ebook actually is $10. However, but it's just $10. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I explain, exactly how I do it. So each blog post, I try to share as much content as I can because I'm the typical person. Well, I will type into Google, how do you do this? And so I'm sure it's millions of people that do the same thing that I do. So I just give that information away.
Very nice. I like that a lot. The
Yeah,
more you can share, the more you help everyone out, and the more they can.
absolutely. Yep. So that's where you can find the blog. Again, it's on my way to quit.wordpress.com.
And I love the name of your blog, On My Way to Quit. Like, that is clear.
Yeah. And you want to know how I came up with the name? Because first, when I was trying to come up with doing this blog, I had the idea like, okay, I should go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, well, what is going to be my domain name?
Right.
So of course, you type in all kinds of things and everything is taken.
Mhm.
Everything under the sun I've thought of was taken. And
Oh,
I'm like, you know what? So I was just like, you know what? Let me just be plain and simple. And thankfully, it wasn't taken. I actually bought the domain name.
Nice.
So I have the domain name for on my way to
I
quit.com.
I really like that. Like, on my way to quit. Oh,
Yeah. So I should have put 9 to 5 at the end, but then I didn't want it to be too
too
long
long.
because,
Right, right.
you can quit anything. They're like, quit what?
Quit.
So,
I know. I like the first thing I think of is quit my 9 to 5.
yeah.
So I like that. So you mentioned in the group that you had written a post about how to make more sales on Poshmark. Is
Mhm.
that correct? Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. I actually named it 4 tips to increase your Poshmark sales because I've actually Googled once again,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
how do you get more clicks to your blog post, like how to be found on search engines.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even know whose website it was or blog or whatever. And they actually were very detailed as far as titles. They had, I think it was like 4 or 5 different types of titles you can have. And so they were saying the numerical ones are great for search engines. So I'm like, huh. Even though I have several bullet points under each tip,
Yeah, yeah.
I still had 4 main tips.
Do you?
So actually, I get hit every day on Bing, Yahoo, what is this? Yahoo search, and Google also, because in the back office of WordPress, they'll tell you, like where your traffic and stuff is coming from.
Yes.
And I see that every day. And just for that one, so I had to go back and I renamed all of my blog posts, different things just to match that actual blog post that I found that someone has written.
Okay.
So that makes a huge difference.
Sure. For sure. Do you happen to remember what your 4 tips were?
Um,
Or do you know the name of the blog post that we could link to and send people to?
the actual link, if you go to on my way to quit.wordpress.com and you click on blog post,
Hmm.
and you will see the title and it says 4 tips to increase your Poshmark sales.
Nice.
So I can't remember all the tips right off the top of my head. I know it was like sharing. I know I talked about keeping your closet active. I talked about, constantly sharing. I talked about pictures, and I can't remember the other one. I'm sorry, I'm drawing
Oh
a
no,
blank.
that's fine. I
But
kind of just threw that question on you.
yeah.
But I'll definitely link it in today's show notes so that people don't have to write it down or anything. They could just click there and take you straight to the blog post.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Course.
But I hope you check it out. I mean, it's really, it's pretty decent information. I mean, and like I said, everything that I've talked about costs absolutely nothing.
And I'm definitely going to check it out because I already love the name of your blog. I
Oh,
love
thanks.
the name of the Facebook group. And I want to know how to increase my sales too. So I'm going to go check
Oh.
it out.
Okay. And actually, can I ask you a personal
Of
question?
course.
Okay. How many, I guess, sales do you have a week? Like, I guess your average.
My average sales, well, so nowadays my sales have minimized like a lot. I have about 1 or 2 sales every week
Hmm.
because I'm not as active in my Posh closet as I used to be. And the reason
Okay.
why I'm not active is because 2 things. I'm doing an experiment on how many sale or how what is I don't know, how do I say this in English? How active I am on the app, how that
Okay.
affects my sales. And
Okay.
also because I'm focusing on my membership site where people are paying to learn from me. So I have to serve them first before I can do anything else. So those are the reasons why I have 1 or 2 sales a week now, which is fine.
Right. I mean, a sale is a sale. I mean, I celebrate every sale, and whether it's one a week or one a day. You know what I mean?
Yep. But
So, absolutely.
before I was focusing on my other ventures that I was just saying, I was
Hmm.
getting between I was getting about 50 sales a week because I was
Wow.
pounding. Like I was just serious about Poshmark. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
fun and busy time during that
Yes,
period.
I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. What about you? How many sales a week do you have?
Um, a week, it actually varies. Just today I had 4,
Yeah.
but it's been a slow week. That was my first 4 for the week. But I mean, average about, maybe 5 a week, not that much. But however, I'm not comparing myself to others because like I said, I mean, I'm happy when I get one sale. I mean, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
But I average about 5. Sometimes it can be a little bit more than that, but 5 is my average number per week.
And that's fine. It depends on what your goals are.
Hmm.
For some people, they want to make Poshmark a full-time gig, and for
Hmm.
others, it's just a side hustle. Like it's just
Hmm.
extra money, and
Yeah.
that's what Poshmark is for me. It's just part-time. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I would love to do it. Not going to say full time,
Mhm.
but I would just like to have multiple streams and just do all of those full time versus actually going into the office from 9 to 5, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes, that makes a lot of sense. We have probably have time for just one more question if you wanted to throw one out there.
Okay. So, okay, this is a good one. So, you have your Poshmark store, you have your Facebook group, your website, your membership, Smarter Moms Online. So, what's next on your to do list? Like, what's after that? Or is there after that?
This podcast is the after that.
Okay. So, you plan to just continue to interview other Poshmark sellers, or do you want to expand into different territories other than Poshmark podcasts?
Oh, yeah. So I'm definitely expanding into the online business world. It's not just about Poshmark. Um, so my website, Smarter Moms Online, it's not just Poshmark things. It's
Hmm.
about really, this is why I was so intrigued about joining your Facebook group.
Hmm.
It's about running a successful business online so that
Hmm.
you can spend more time with your family instead of working for somebody else.
Hmm.
And so I have the group, and I don't own the group. Facebook owns the group, but
Right.
I own my website. I have self-hosted. I have a self-hosted website,
Hmm.
and the podcast is just a branch from that. And I
Okay.
realized, that I focused on the podcast because I don't have to wear makeup or worry about the good lighting as
Right.
opposed to going on Facebook Live. You know what I mean? Because you
Right.
don't know where I'm sitting right now talking to you.
Hmm.
I'm in my closet.
Oh no.
And the reason why I'm in my closet is because there's no echo in here. And
Oh, okay.
clothes around me are absorbing my voice, so it's not bouncing off the walls or anything. But if I were to go on Facebook Live, people would be like, "Is this girl for real? She's
Right.
in her clothes talking." Like,
Right. Yeah. I totally get it.
the other reason is because people don't have to stop what they're doing to listen to a podcast. I mean, I know that you're familiar with that. You listen to
Hmm.
podcasts on your way to work and all that stuff. And I said, instead of starting a YouTube channel, which tons of people have, and they're good. I love watching
Yeah.
those YouTube people.
Oh yes, I do too.
I know they're addicting too.
They
And
are.
and they have really good tips. Like they are amazing. And then you follow
Mhm.
them on Instagram and you just go down
Mhm.
this rabbit hole and you're like, wow, I need to go back
Yeah.
and check my listings.
Right. Because it's like 2 hours have passed
Yes,
easily.
yes, you feel me. But
Mhm.
that was kind of the main thing. So that, and also, I mean, the person who I bring onto the show, they don't got to worry about hair, makeup, and lighting either. You know, and no
That is
special
true.
equipment.
Absolutely. Because I'm in my scarf.
Oh yeah, and you're just talking to me on your phone, like it's
Yes.
easy. So
Absolutely.
that is my next thing on my to-do list.
Oh, great. Well, I can't wait to see how things go. I mean, you're gonna be releasing, I guess, different episodes. Like, how often would you do a podcast?
So I'm aiming at one show a week.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't decided which day these are going to be released, but they will
Okay.
be consistent so that people will know, oh, today's podcast day. I better tune in. I'm just kidding. That's just being a little presumptuous.
Awesome. So one of the, so about the podcast, it's going to be I'm assuming in iTunes, and I guess is it going to be under Smarter Moms Online, or are you going to label it something else?
Yeah,
Or
it's called the Smarter Moms Online Podcast. Just
nice.
keeping
Okay.
it real and sweet and related to my website. So that's the
Awesome.
idea. And I have no idea how this is going to grow. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's going to grow at all, but it's something that I felt that would help other poshers with their businesses. So
Hmm.
why not give it a try? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Just do it
Just do
and
it.
see what happens.
Yep. You never know until you try. That's my motto in life.
That is true.
So, what
That is
about you?
true.
Do you have something else on your to-do list?
Actually, aside from leaving the job,
Of course, that's the goal.
I never really thought about a podcast. Not quite there yet,
Mhm.
but aside from the Poshmark and I guess just probably real estate, to be honest.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I kind of want to, save up, portions of what I make from the side hustles and actually start purchasing some real estate.
Hmm.
So I kind of want to expand in that direction, but I still want to keep doing the same things. Like I don't want it to stop. I
Right.
don't want to leave Poshmark or everything else that I do and then just go into real estate alone by itself. Like I
Right.
want it to continue to pay for it pretty much.
Hmm.
That's what I really want to, move into. So whether it's, flipping homes or, investment properties where, I have tenants, and things of that nature, that's the
Right.
direction that I'm looking into.
Now that's fascinating. That like I would love to have an investment property one day. So just hearing
Hmm.
you talk about it gets me excited inside. I'm like, yes, it's
Yeah.
sparking, you know what I mean? It's sparking up that imagination again, that dream.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know. And then I actually, like last week, I had went to the real estate. They had like a seminar. They call it a career seminar. Like if you're interested in actually taking the classes.
Hmm.
So I'm actually thinking about that too. Just so I can get access to the MLS system.
Right. Yes.
That might be, a possibility.
Hmm.
That may, swing that way. But who knows? I mean, I don't really want to be a realtor per se. I just want the access. If it
Yeah.
was a way around it,
Right.
then I would definitely go for it. But it seems like, that's kind of, the route that you have to go to have that access. But, most definitely.
Well, keep taking those steps towards getting to that goal for sure. Don't stop.
Well, now I won't.
Yeah. Well, this has been such a fun conversation to have with you. I'm sorry that I kept you on for so long, but
Oh,
I was
it's
really
okay.
enjoying our conversation.
Me too. Yeah, it was really cool. Like at first I was nervous to be honest, but I was like, oh my
Why?
God.
It's just me, guys. It's like just me sitting in my closet, if that makes you feel any better.
Oh goodness.
Well, tell us a little where we can find you on Poshmark and where we can find you on your blog again.
Okay, so my Poshmark username is Burgundy Hanger. So that's Burgundy Hanger, Hanger, one word. And my blog is onmywaytoquit.wordpress.com.
So awesome. I am so excited to check you out on your blog and your Facebook group. Okay, girl, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All right,
All
bye.
right. Bye.
So good, right? Guys, if you found yourself nodding your head to what Monica was saying about leaving her 9 to 5 job, I encourage you to visit her website. Everything we talked about today is listed in the show notes at smartermomsonline.com/6. So if you need the link to her website or her Poshmark closet, just visit today's show notes. And if you loved today's show or just the podcast in general, take a screenshot of the episode you're listening to right now and post it up on your Instagram stories and tag me at Posh with Ashlyn. I love seeing who's tuning in, and I always share those stories on my Insta stories. So there's another shout out for you there. Have a wonderful day, guys. I'll see you next week. If you loved today's episode, then you've got to check out my Poshmark closet checklist. It's the exact checklist I've used for every listing I posted, and it has made me over $5,000 in just 4 months. Not bad for a part-time gig, right? You can download that same checklist for free at smartermomsonline.com/Poshmark checklist.